Hello everyone, welcome back to Capsa. Before we dive into today's session, let me ask you this. How does a single cell manage to control all its complex functions like growth, repair, division, and even protein synthesis? What exactly gives the cell its instruction to function in such a precise, organized manner? Well, the answer lies in a central commanding structure called the nucleus. In today's lecture, we are going to deeply explore the nucleus, its structure, its function, and why it is often referred to as the control center of the cell. We will cover everything from historical discovery to the microscopic anatomy of the nuclear membrane, chromatin, nucleolus. We will also look at its role in health, disease, inheritance. So, by the end of this session, you will not only understand what the nucleus is, you will appreciate why it's indispensable to life itself. So, let's begin with the basics. The nucleus is a large membrane bound organelle found in nearly all eukaryotic cells, that is, cells with a well defined internal structure. It houses the DNA, the deoxyribonucleic acid, which contains the genetic blueprint that directs all cellular activities. It regulates everything the cell does from protein synthesis and metabolism to cell division and growth. Because of this, it is often referred to as the command center or the brain of the cell. Without the nucleus, a cell could lack of the instruction manual for the life. The discovery of the nucleus dates back to 1831 when Robert Brown, a botanist, was studying plant cells, particularly in orchids. He observed a dense, rounded body inside the cell and named it the nucleus, from Latin word meaning little nut or kernel. Later scientific pioneers like Sladen and Swan laid the foundation of cell theory, highlighting the importance of the nucleus. Over time, molecular biologists confirmed that the nucleus is essential for heredity, gene expression, and cell regulation. So, historically, the nucleus not only shaped the biology, it shaped the very way we understand the life. The position of the nucleus is usually central in most of the cells, especially in animal cells, where it balances internal activities. However, in some specialized cells like fat cells or muscle fibers, it may shift to the periphery to accommodate other structures. It is also found in all eukaryotic cells, meaning cells with internal membranes, but it is absent in certain mature cells like red blood cells in mammals and sieve tube elements in plant cells. So these cells sacrifice their nucleus for enhanced functionality like better oxygen transport or food conduction. Most cells are uninucleate, meaning they contain a single nucleus. Examples include neurons and skin cells. However, some cells, like liver cells and cardiac muscle cells, are binucleate, containing two nuclei. Skeletal muscle fibers and osteoclasts go a step further and are multinucleate. These are larger, specialized cells that need multiple nuclei to coordinate complex function. So then there are anucleated cells, such as mature red blood cells, which lose their nucleus during the development. So these cells cannot divide or synthesize proteins anymore. The shape of the nucleus also varies. It is typically spherical, but it can be oval in epithelial cells, lobed in white blood cells like neutrophils, or even irregular in cancer cells. The size of the nucleus varies depending on the type of the cell and its activity level. On average, it ranges from 5 to 10 micrometer in diameter. In cells that are highly active, like glandular or secretory cells, the nucleus is generally larger. This is because a larger nucleus provides more space for active transcription and RNA processing, essential for the protein production. Structurally, the nucleus is a complex organelle with multiple components working together like nuclear envelope, nuclear pores, nucleoplasm, etc. Let's now discuss each of them in detail. The nuclear envelope is a double membrane that separates the contents of the nucleus from the cytoplasm. The outer membrane is continuous with the rough endoplasmic reticulum, which helps in protein synthesis. Between the two membranes is a narrow perinuclear space about 20 to 40 nanometers wide, and this space play a critical role in molecular transport. The envelope contains nuclear pores, large protein complexes that allow regulate exchange of substances. In essence, the envelope acts both as the barrier and the gatekeeper of the nucleus. Each nucleus contains thousands of nuclear pores, specialized structure composed of proteins called nucleoporins. These pores allow selective transport of materials in and out of the nucleus. mRNA, tRNA, ribosomal subunits are exported from the nucleus while proteins, nucleotides, enzymes enters through it. So this transport is not random, it is highly regulated, ensuring only specific molecules can cross the boundary. Inside the nuclear envelope is a clear gel-like fluid called nucleoplasm, also referred to as karyolymph or nuclear sap. This fluid matrix contains enzymes, ions, nucleotides, and nuclear proteins, creating the ideal environment for the DNA activities. Critical processes like DNA replication, transcription, RNA processing all occur within this nucleoplasm. Within the nucleoplasm lies the chromatin, a complex DNA and histone proteins. It appears as a fine thread-like network when the cell is not dividing. Chromatin exists in two forms: euchromatin, which is loosely packed and active in transcription, heterochromatin, which is tightly packed and generally inactive. During cell division, chromatin condenses into visible structures called chromosomes, which ensure accurate genetic distribution to the daughter cells. The nucleolus is a dense spherical body found within the nucleus. It is non-membranous and may occur as one or more per nucleus. Its primary role is to synthesize ribosomal RNA and assemble ribosomal subunit by combining rRNA with proteins. Active cells like those that secrete enzymes or hormones have prominent nuclei. Interestingly, the nucleolus disappears during mitosis and reappears in the final stages of the cell division. The nucleus is made up of about 70 to 90% water. Structural and enzymatic proteins like histones and polymerases, DNA which stores the genetic code, and different forms of RNA, mostly rRNA. It also contains enzymes ion which are needed for DNA and RNA synthesis. This rich in biochemical environment supports the complex function of the nucleus. The nucleus plays a number of critical roles. It stores genetic material and ensures that this information is accurately passed on to daughter cells. It regulates gene expression, directing what proteins the cell makes. It controls cell division, ensuring orderly growth and repair. It produces ribosomes via the nucleolus, and it manages nuclear endocytoplasmic transport, which maintain a balance between in the cell. Without the nucleus, none of the cell's complex system could operate in harmony. During the cell cycle, the nucleus undergoes several changes. In interphase, the nucleus is intact with chromatin and nucleolus visible. In prophase, the chromatin condenses into chromosomes and the nucleolus disappears. During metaphase, the nuclear envelope breaks down. In anaphase and telophase, chromosomes move apart and a new nuclear envelope forms, restoring the nucleus. So, these dynamic changes ensure accurate replication and distribution of genetic material. In diseases like cancer, nuclei may appear enlarged, irregular, or hyperchromatic, which means overly stained due to excessive DNA content. Micronuclei, which are small extranuclear bodies, often indicate genetic damage. Laminopathies such as Hutchinson-Gilford progeria syndrome are caused by defects in the nuclear envelope proteins, and anucleated cells like red blood cells cannot repair themselves or divide. So, understanding nucleus is essential not just in biology but also in medicine and genetic diagnosis. So, to sum up, today we have learned that the nucleus is more than just a central blob inside the cell. It is highly organized dynamic command center that controls the cell's identity, activity and future. From the nuclear envelope to chromatin and nucleus, every part plays a distinct and crucial role, and its influence spans across life, inheritance, disease and evolution. If you found this session helpful, and it gives you a clearer picture of the nucleus, don't forget to like the video, subscribe to the channel and share this lecture with your fellow learners. This helps me bring more quality educational content to you every week. Thanks for watching and I will see you in the next class.